I think it's because we take sport to another level in terms of teaching and learning. So we use the power of sport as the glue or the engagement, whether it's cricket, whether it's rugby, whether it's football. So I think that in terms of our courses, everything that we do is taught through the medium that the students are there for. All the homework, all the theory work, all the assignments that the students are doing will be about something that they love. And I think in my years of being a teacher, when you write and talk about something that you're passionate about, it kind of just writes itself. So I think that's probably the reason why we are different. Having taught in sixth form colleges before, I found at times quite difficult as a teacher to engage all the students all the time, because you might have somebody that likes football in there, but then you might have someone that likes rugby, someone that likes golf. Everyone's going to like different sports, so the engagement factor is going to be very, very difficult. We don't have that problem at SCL, because everybody that's in that classroom is there because they all have a passion for that sport, and as a result, kind of the education and the learning go hand in hand. If that makes sense. I think it works very well because of the relationships that we build first and foremost with the sports clubs. So it's a bit of a non-negotiable in terms of if the students don't get the education right, then they won't be allowed to train. If they can't train, then they can't play. So it's a bit of a carrot and stick effect. You need to make sure that they see, first of all, these courses as educational courses rather than sport courses. That's difficult at times, I'm not going to lie to you. I think it is very, very difficult for the students to get their head around that. But when they see their friends going out to train every day and they're stuck in the classroom, I think the penny still drops. The power of that for me, though, is going back to the engagement side. So you're not maybe talking about a subject in school that you didn't like, you're talking about something you've got love for, potentially a career pathway. So I think in terms of being a teacher within this environment, I think we've probably got the easiest jobs in the world, because the penny drops very early doors in terms of discipline and in terms of things that maybe other sixth form teachers have to deal with. We don't, because everybody's here for the right reasons, and if they're not, then we soon kind of sort them out very early doors to make sure that everyone that does stay with us for the long term is there for the right reasons, potentially seeing education through sport and into career pathway. I think there was traditionally a lot of stigmas towards vocational subjects, especially BTECs. I've taught BTEC now for the last 10 years, and what I would say, the current BTEC that we teach at SCL is the equivalent to 3 A levels. It's also, in terms of UCAS weighting, the equivalent to 3 A levels. So if you offer, and a lot of our venues go to full extended, you can get up to 168 UCAS points. Now that would be to go and deliver and study, a sport-related discipline at university. So in terms of weighting, it still has the same sort of exit routes at the end. In terms of teaching and learning, I find that the BTEC route is a lot more accessible for maybe those students that didn't like the traditional 9 to 5, death by PowerPoint, turn to page 33 and make notes. That certainly wasn't the way that I liked it at school. It's probably 50% theory, 50% practical. So if you are more of a kinesthetic or a visual learner, then I certainly would encourage you to go down the BTEC routing. There's also no formal exams. There is exams that are potentially on the horizon, but at the moment we're sticking with the current 2010 BTEC, where it is all coursework based. So again, for a lot of our students and some of the students that might be interested in coming to our programs, if you've done BTEC level 2 at GCSE, or if you've done some sort of GCSE sport coursework, then it's going to be no different. What I would inform parents and students, though, this is the equivalent to 3 A levels. So it's certainly a qualification not to be kind of thinking that it's going to be a bit of a breeze. It won't be. The engagement will be the support that you choose to go down. But what you've got to understand is that there is going to be a lot of coursework. The great thing about it as well is that you can upgrade your work. So it's a pass, merit or distinction. If you get a pass and your end mark is a distinction, then you can resubmit it. So in terms of, from a teaching perspective, there's lovely flexibility for us as teachers. There's even more flexibility in terms of the student. But I think that gone are the days, and I think it's really important that we tell the parents that it is equivalent to 3 A levels. It's just a very, very different pathway of getting A levels at the end of the journey. We treat the students first and foremost like adults. But we also don't forget the fact that there are the footballers, cricketers, rugby players, whatever the sport is. So if you look at a lot of our tutors have been on the other side of the desk as players, coaches, and now teachers. So we understand the environment, we understand the banter, we understand at times that it is more of a fun environment, but what the students need to understand from first and foremost is that this is an educational course. What we can offer is a bit different, is that we can bring the education to the sports club. You're not having to go to a college environment where sometimes it can be very regimented, very much a 9 to 5 days, plus loads of homework in the evening. You're not going to get that if you come on an SCL Academy. You're going to get experts in their field. You're also going to get people that can relate to you, which I think is really important nowadays. But more importantly, I think the biggest advantage from a sixth form college is that we can give that more personal touch. Our classes are an awful lot smaller than what you would get, and the reason why we do that is because we want to get to know our students, so that we can make sure that at the end of the 2 years, not only have we done what's right for them, but they've also got something that's bespoke to them to go into. I don't think you can do that in a class of 30 at a sixth form college. So I think we're just very, very different, and I think that it's probably when you come to one of our open events and you come to one of our taster sessions that hopefully you get a bit of a different feel. What is important to understand though is it's not just kicking a ball or throwing a ball around. Ultimately this is still an educational environment, it's just a different environment. By law, if a student gets a grade 3, they have to resit GCSE with us. In terms of guided learning hours, that's a minimum of 4 hours a week, 2 hours of English, 2 hours of maths. If they get 2 or below, then they will resit functional skills, level 1 in their first year up to a level 2 in their second year, and that will be an hour a week on each in terms of guided learning hours. We have our own English and maths experts, they are regional based, but also all our own tutors at SCL. We've all gone through thorough training and CPD events to make sure that we're upskilled in the delivery of those subjects. Again though, what I would say is that it's not like going back to year 9, where we're not going to bring Shakespeare out or Macbeth or anything like that. Everything will be taught through the sport. So in my venue, again, it's football. We teach functional skills and GCSE maths and English through the remit of football. Again, to go through the processes so that when it comes to the exam technique and the practices, then again, it's that engagement side of things. We've also got within each region the specialists that will come in. They come in once a month and they will lead the lesson. It's quite nice for us then as tutors because we can learn off them, but also it's a bit of a different face for the lecturers and for the students as well. And finally, we also have an awful lot of vlogging and videos that have been created. So for example, during the recent Easter holidays, there were some online video workshops that the students that were resitting maths and English could log into, access practice papers, but also just a bit of a safe place that they can go on. There was a Q&A available to them as well. So we're trying to sell maths and English to kids that probably, since they entered the preparation for those exams in year 9, didn't want to be there, and that's tough, it is tough. But we're also trying to use all the modern mediums that are available to us together with the expertise that we've got within house at SCL to try and help them through that journey. It is tough, I'm not going to lie to you, it's tough to try and cram into 4 hours a week what these kids were doing since year 9, but some of our success stories have been absolutely excellent and outstanding because I feel that we can maybe offer that personal touch that maybe in a classroom of 30 while you're at school that wasn't able to. So, but maths and English is very, very, very big part. We also embed it into our teaching and learning in the form of the NCFE or in the BTEC because that's an Ofsted requirement as well.